guys, welcome back for another video, and if you are new to my channel, welcome to Earth to Rosita. So, last night, before I went to bed, as usual, I was having deep thoughts, deep philosophical thoughts, deep spiritual thoughts, and it led me to thinking about all of this new content, like YouTube content. I've been watching Celestial Cow and mainly Celestial Cow, and I've been thinking about all of these celebrities that have been exposed and stuff, and now they have to be held accountable and stuff like that for their shitty behavior. And it's really gotten me to thinking about things that we support, and it's gotten me to thinking about how, even though it's not entirely our fault, obviously, we are kind of accountable to a degree, and I think that we need to start being more responsible about that, and holding ourselves more accountable. And what I mean by that is that these people, they're only popular because we made them so, and that extends out to literally everything, every single thing in the world that we make popular, that we fund, that we support, these big YouTubers, these influencers, people people in the vegan community like John Venus and Elise Parker, and people in the spiritual community like Koi Fresco, Christina something, Raw Christina, or whatever her name is. Who else? And also I have a friend, I actually featured her on my channel, Neptunia. She made a rant video a couple of weeks ago about how people exploit the witch spirituality side of things as well. People get onto things like TikTok, and they kind of just exploit, from Neptunia's point of view, exploit really ancient, traditional, and sacred teachings and spiritual knowledge and spiritual truths that Neptunia is actually very passionate about, as far as I've seen. And this is just there's so much that most of the Western world, or anyone whose lifestyle is dependent upon capitalism, they tend to take really serious issues or ancient philosophies, and they just turn it into a kind of joke, or they tend to exploit it in the sense that they claim it as their own, or they don't claim it as their own, but they kind of label themselves as teachers or professionals when they're really just beginners, honestly. And it's a really big problem. And I'm not just, okay, so that's just the YouTube aspect of it, but real life, people actually do get hurt from supporting inherently immoral industries. And it's kind of similar to, YouTubers just like using certain things as their brand. They don't. Okay, so a real life problematic industry, the biggest one of all, factory farming. Okay, these are inherently immoral industries. The only reason that they exist is to meet the demand of a large population of people. But the only reason that they continue is because the people that support these industries have not made a connection to where, like, what happens to the animals, or if they know, then there's still a kind of disconnect, because it's very difficult for somebody to care about an issue if it doesn't affect them. And we know this, like, we know that even I, as a vegan, there are things that I feel like I try to remain ignorant to, because it's just so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming how much exploitation goes into existing as a human, So it's just sad. But with all of these movements going on right now, like the vegan movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, defunding the police, these things, sorry, the lighting was really annoying me, but anyways, these things are coming to light, and I feel like the timing of this pandemic is very interesting. We're beginning a new decade with a pandemic, and it's given a lot of people not a lot of people, but at least some people, the opportunity to be able to get themselves, like, looking at this world that we live in, the society that we've built on, in an objective point of view. And it's just it's like God or the universe, or even if you don't believe in anything, or just like, whatever you believe in, it's like the timing, or like, it's just like what this pandemic ultimately asked us to do is to sit down and view society in, like, an objective way, to view the wrongdoings, to think about everything, to think about the systems that we live in. Our government doesn't have our back. Does our government have our back? Depending on what country you live in. Like, if everything just falls apart, is our government going to protect us or help us where we need? And America in particular, one of the most exploitative countries of all, it's like, America is not gonna come out of, like, this world, this entire world, it cannot go back to normal, and we shouldn't strive for normal. Because our world has been built on systems, industries, practices, small business, big businesses, whatever. All of it fundamentally is exploitative. And if you're living in a society, a world where every single thing is seen as a profit instead of just like a being, or like if the environment is like less important than money, or if a body, whether it's a human body or like another animal, some body, like whether it's an animal or a human animal, if these things are seen as profit, well, it can be seen like it leads to really bad, detrimental things. Like, technologically, humans are the most like intelligent, and intellectually, some of us are like intelligence is very subjective. It depends entirely on who you talk to and who you ask. But my idea of a genius could be someone's idea of a complete idiot, you know? That's what I mean. Like, God, what am I trying to say? I can never convey my points when I'm in these moods, and I'm sorry. Like, at the end of the day, what I was trying to say is that intellectually and technologically, humans are very advanced, mostly advanced. But spiritually, we are very, like, we have a lot of catching up to do spiritually. Like, we have a lot of spiritual growth to do, spiritual awakening to do. This society is not very spiritual at all. I guess we're religious. Like, this, most of the world has a faith, has a God to pray to, and there's nothing wrong with religion. I have nothing against religion. Religion is a form of spirituality, but it's also can be dictated by man's view of what is right and wrong. And that's where we see problems, you know? It can be dogmatic at times. And I don't think that humans are fundamentally bad people. I think that we've just been tricked into expressing and identifying with the lower aspects of ourselves, because we've never had the opportunity, or we've never been given the opportunity to really look inside of ourselves and do spiritual work and see things in a more higher vibrational sense. This is something I was talking about in my previous video, the what is feminine, what is masculine. You can go check that out if you want. I'll link it somewhere up here. I think I'll try to do that. But yeah. So I know that I went on to a bit of a tangent, but the main message is we need to start taking accountability for what exactly we support, what industries we support, who we support, the small businesses. Do their ethics align with ours? Are they helping the environment, or are they damaging their environment? are they helping other people, or are they hurting other people? And I know that that's a very complex issue, but because like there is always going to be some kind of harm done. But it's ultimately about reducing harm, isn't it? Are they helping other animals to thrive, or are they driving other species into extinction? Are they... Just ask these questions. Like, and I know that morally, this is entirely subjective, like the political views that you have. What are the roots of it? And is it helping to progress humanity, or is it keeping humanity at a stagnant stage? We need to ask ourselves these questions. We need to try to think about our actions and how they impact others, whether it be like human life or other animal life. We need to place our empathy a bit on we need to think about the victims. We need to think about, if it comes to Black Lives Matter, we cannot view that movement through the lens of, I don't know, a conservative or a conspiracy theorist. Conspiracy theories, there is slight truth to some of them. I'm not going to discredit it, but you just, you need to shift your focus to the right things, to hire your empathy, to hire your compassion, to embrace the divine feminine traits unapologetically, to embrace the divine masculine traits unapologetically. And you can't do that when you're just feeding into someone on the internet who is so, in their ego and out for themselves and not trying to better humanity. You can't do that when people are just trying to, continue this system of oppression, continue this system of suffering. And you have to try to vibrate higher. This is something I've said previously in other vlogs. Vibrate higher. And I keep preaching it, and I still will. I will always preach this until it gets through to someone. So yeah, don't support, research the people that you support, the industries that you support, the businesses that you support, and see if they can do better. And if you're able to, boycott them. If you're able to, in the sense that if you're able to boycott them and, exist as a human being, then do it. And if you're not, then yin and yang. There's only so much that you can do. So that's it for me today. I hope that you enjoyed this vlog, and I hope that you have a lovely day or night. Subscribe, like this video, and bye guys!